Hi, my name is Natalie Stevens, and this is my signature project 2 for the University of West Alabama for Dr. Rachel Dunbar. So the issue at my school that I have found is the most concerning to me is the lower achievement scores among Latino students compared to the white students at my school. The issue to me began when I started noticing that there were lower participation rates among my Latino students that I began to see more and more frequently. But, some would think that maybe the children just were not participating or paying attention enough, or maybe they were just being lazy. But that's not necessarily what their attention rates showed. They were constantly paying attention. They do the work. So it's just that they weren't raising their hand and actually letting me know that they understand what we're learning. So you'll begin to see throughout the slideshow maybe what the issue stems from. So I conducted a survey at the beginning of the year just to state that their end of the year scores from last school year in 2019 to 2020 in math and reading weren't exactly where they wanted their scores to be. They feel like they maybe could have done better. I also asked how many days that they had missed of school last year, and about 80% of students said that they missed on average about 10 days of school. I also asked if maybe there were reasons. I gave them an option for maybe why they did not attend school. And about 80% of students said that they did not come to school because they were fearful of them or family members being deported. So the data concerned me because I started seeing a pattern between the students in the community who were afraid of their family members being taken away from them, who are actually missing instructional time with their teachers, which could have related to their lower end of the year scores from last school year. So the concern with the achievement scores of the Latino students compared to the white students, I think, is the fear tactic from our most recent president, who kind of used it as a way to keep Hispanic people afraid by referring to them as illegal aliens. But now that fear tactic has affected their ability to focus in class and potentially achieve higher scores in class because they are constantly living in fear. So according to Barchet, it says that the researchers found that Latino white gaps in chronic absenteeism and in math and test scores widened in about 2,000 school districts located within a 25-mile radius of a deportation. This affected about 3 million Latino students who were near 262 deportation sites around the country. And it didn't say around the southern border where you would mostly think that these deportations would be, but it's all around the country. So the students who are afraid of being deported are afraid to leave home, so they don't come to school. And I think we all know as teachers, especially math teachers, that if you miss a day of instruction in math, you're already behind. So this widens the gap of achievement scores between white students and Latino students. So this was crazy to me. About a 25-mile radius, if there was a deportation around this radius, students were more prone to miss school and have lower assessment scores. So these are the average test scores in Fort Payne, Alabama. Around the light blue with the purple outline is Fort Payne. If you'll look on the left side, you will see the top arrow pointing to the white students' average test scores, and it falls on the average scale. So there's no concern there, but you will see the larger discrepancy among the Hispanic students, which is the second arrow. It's a negative 2.1, which they have the lowest test scores among students in Fort Payne. So the plan of action that I have for this issue is to implement a mentorship of Latino students for this next school year. The mentorship will be called Mighty Tykes Mentorship, where fourth grade students at Williams Avenue will have a mentor from the high school to just help talk with them about school or maybe any other issues that they have. The validity of the data collected for this mentorship is reliable because most of these students already have older brothers and sisters who attend the high school. So the students who are in a higher need of a mentor will be the students who actually benefit the most from this program. So the timeline for my plan of action will take approximately 5 months. So as you'll see on the timeline, from April to May is when we'll actually conduct the survey. From June to July, we will choose the mentor candidates as well as the 4th grade students. From August all the way until the end of the school year is when we will implement the mentorship. So the collaboration for this project will consist of Mr. Jett, who is the principal at Fort Payne High School, and Jennifer List, who is a principal at Williams Avenue. We need both of their collaboration to put this program into place. So Mr. Jett has to sign off on every single mentor who enters the program, and the mentors will be chosen based off of their grade point average, how much they attend school so that we know that they are reliable, and they have to be referred by one of their teachers. The sample size for this project will consist of 60 students, all Latino students in the 4th grade at Williams Avenue, where about 40 students will actually be chosen for the program. So some ethical issues that we could address would be students who possibly have physical limitations who are interested will be offered to have their sessions in a least restrictive environment, and they will have their one-to-one parapro present during all of the sessions. If we have concerns with privacy, maybe the students don't want their peers to know that they're interested in the mentorship, they would complete their survey during a small group session with their English language learning teacher. And then students who don't get pulled for the small group instruction will complete their survey at their own pace after completing whatever lesson it is that they have in class with their general education teacher. So the connection to student achievement is I think that this program will help benefit students who are in need of emotional comfort, and they need to know that there is good at the end of this at this really, really hard time in their life. And we all know that students need to feel they need to be in a safe environment in order to learn, and students can't learn when they're constantly afraid. So I think it'll offer them an opportunity to form personal connections with a responsible, caring, and successful student who shares the same culture as them. I also believe that this program will help the mentors down a road of volunteerism and doing meaningful work for their community as well as their country. So maybe by starting small with a mentorship, it can grow into something bigger that could actually benefit our country one day. Also, I hope that the study results in higher attendance rates, which will connect to an improvement in academic test scores among Latino students. So I think that the research will contribute to elementary education in terms of offering the students mentors to model certain life actions that maybe teachers just can't do themselves. So according to Foster, she says typically the mentee is deemed to be the one that is learning, but really there is a mutual learning experience which rewards both the mentor and the mentee in meaningful and respectful relationship where they can actually learn from one another. So some of the things that teachers can learn from this opportunity is maybe they will find other resources that they can use in their classroom that they find beyond the classroom. Maybe they learn more about emotional support, different ways to go about that. Maybe they can learn different ways to help students with self-directed learning. And they can learn how to build relationships through experiences. And they can teach students how to find a sense of fulfillment. So some potential gaps in the mentorship is one, maybe the mentors don't take the opportunity seriously. We all have been in high school and we know that sometimes we're just looking for a way to get out of there. And with high school age students, maybe they're looking for just a way out. And if they do that, then they're not really taking the opportunity seriously. And the mentees won't gain the experience that they need. Second, maybe mentors get paired with a family member. There are a lot of Latino students in Fort Payne City schools, so there is a good chance that they will actually be paired with a family member. And if that happens, then maybe they won't gain the full experience of the mentorship because it's just like hanging out with a brother or a sister. And last, maybe there won't be enough mentors to fit the demand of the students. So there's always a possibility that some of the mentors will actually back out of the program and some of the students won't receive a mentor for the year, and we don't want that to happen. So these are my references for my presentation. And I thank you so much for watching my presentation. I have really enjoyed this class with Dr. Rachel Dunbar. She's an absolute asset to the University of West Alabama.